How do I look?
What's going on, everyone? This is episode 40 of Damn That's Good with Big Salinas Barbecue. A little bit tongue-tied there. But this is episode 40. Like I said, we do got a nice little fun episode going on for you. So without further ado, I'm Randy Salinas. Of course, I'm joined by my brother, Junior Salinas. We do got a nice little fun episode for you. So let's get this party started. What's going on?
All right, welcome. I've got an echo. Sorry, personal technical difficulties today, but welcome to the episode. This is a good episode. We got a lot going on here. I still hear an echo. Oh, it's my computer still. Anyways, like I said, technical difficulties. We're trying some things, so definitely go check us out anywhere you get your podcast or YouTube. Hit that subscribe and like button at Big Salinas Barbecue because we're live when we did this. That's why we're having the technical difficulties. But we just want to see what's on. From there, definitely go check it out. This is going to be a great episode. We will do since we won't be on the air before then, we'll go ahead and wish live to our producer, the mad scientist that gets everything edited, ready for rock and roll, Chris. He will be turning 40 in a couple of weeks. So happy birthday to him. But let's get it to it. But first, thank you to all our sponsors. I'm not going to try because Randy knows I don't know who they are. Yep. So go for it.
Yeah, shout out to our sponsors, Holy Smoke Spice Company, Brothers Keeper Barbecue, Prairie Fresh, Meat Hugger. They are for any of your butcher paper needs. Look them up on Amazon. They got some great product. And then, of course, Mad Cow Cutlery. Check all those out. Give their products a try. Let us know what you think of them. But we do, like I said, we have a fun episode going on for you. He mentioned happy birthday to Chris, our producer. But this week is also our father's birthday, so happy birthday to our father, the OG Pitmaster. His birthday actually tomorrow, but we're going to celebrate that with him on Saturday. So happy birthday to both of them. We hope y'all have a good birthday. We wish you more happy birthdays in the future. But let's get down to it. We both did some cooking over the weekend. What did you cook over the weekend or over the past 2 weeks?
Before we get into that, let's get into our small business shout out first, and then we'll go into what we cooked because we definitely did some cooking. I want to get into it. I've got one for you today. If you don't have one, that's okay because not everyone. Again, if you do want a shout out, hit us up. Junior Salinas at Facebook, or Randy Salinas at Facebook, or Big Salinas Barbecue, or Damn That's Good with Big Salinas Barbecue. Say, hey, give me a shout out, and we'll shout your business out. Tell us what you want us to say. Mine this week is none other than Mr. X-Man himself, Big Kano Texas All-Purpose Rub. It's an all-purpose rub that goes good on everything, no sugar, some good garlic, good black pepper, and a little bit of citrus. Everything you need is great flavor. Go check him out on all the social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube at Big Kano Barbecue Show. Definitely go check out his show because he's definitely using it at Big Kano Barbecue on Instagram. You can go straight to his Big Kano Texas All-Purpose Rub on Facebook, or go hit up Texas Extreme Barbecue, throw up that X from there. But if you want to go buy it, definitely go buy it. You can't go wrong with it as well. You can go to Joe's Meat Market in Roy City, Prolific Butcher Shop, and Papa Joe's in Fort Worth, Texas. So definitely go hit up him and go help him out because he's always as well helping out the kiddos as well. So go check out Big Kano and his all-purpose rub.
He's got some good stuff. My small business shout out is Texas Brisket Biscuit. They are now in Euless, Texas. I think it's 2390 Fuller Wise Road in Euless, Texas. She's got some amazing brisket biscuits. Those brisket biscuits, they do have our Noble Rub in there, but they are delicious. Each flavor does come with its own unique butter. So if you're in Euless, driving through Euless, take that detour, check them out, let them know Randy with Big Salinas BBQ sent you. And of course, if you don't want to make that drive out, but you're in the DFW area, stop in at any Central Market location and pick you up some delicious brisket biscuits. They have some green hatch chili. She has a bacon and white cheddar. She's got like 18 different varieties for you to pick from. So definitely check them out. And again, that's Texas Brisket Biscuit. And that's TX Brisket Biscuit. Follow her on Instagram and Facebook. So now we're going to get down to what we cooked over the past couple of weeks and what we've been up to. I'm going to start off with...
Let's do it. I cooked some ribs one day. Tried it, brined it in Dr. Pepper, set it overnight, and then did some... cooked it in there with just our holy garlic. I think it came out fantastic. I'm always a little leery about how the stuff tries out. Now I guess I know how Randy feels when everybody tries out his food, is you want to know their real thought. Randy simply said, I ate 5 of them, so there you go. Quit asking me if I didn't like it. And he's the truth, because if he doesn't like it, he's not going to go back to it. We then tried, as we were waiting for the ribs, it took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but we had a possum to deal with that morning that sent me back a little bit. But then we threw down some sausage that was really good. So we kind of munched on that. And then some wings grilled that up. One of them, I don't remember the spice. I want to say it was the Noble rub on it. I could be wrong.
On the chicken wings?
No, it was your chicken rub that we tried.
The chicken
we
rub,
tried
and then we
chicken
had
rub.
the
Cajun two-step by the salt cracker. So his was awesome. His had a great little spice. I've actually put that on some paint. We did breakfast yesterday for dinner, and I put it on some like a fried egg, and it was really good. Gave it a little spice, but it's not overpowering, so it's not like, oh my god. So those came out fantastic. We did some steaks the other night, came out awesome. Finally getting it down, getting the seasoning, the blend, the mixture. And then, of course, we did some hamburgers and the day you took over on eating duty. And I thought those came out really good. Some smash burgers is what they ended up kind of being regardless. So, and those came out real well. What have you been cooking?
So we cooked some, what we cooked? So we cooked some sausage. We went down to Blue Bonnet Meat Company in Trenton. They got some amazing good jalapeno and cheddar sausage. They said their hash sausage is pretty good. We got their breakfast sausage, which is really good as well. Small little store, so if you're interested in checking them out, like I said, Blue Bonnet Meat Company, but we bought those. And then we also went ahead and did the corn ribs for the first time, but couldn't find any of the regular corn cobs, so we just used the frozen ones. You can definitely check out the TikTok or YouTube channel for that video. I'm sure our producer Chris will insert that video in here for y'all to watch it.
Mini
when you're watching
corn ribs. All right, y'all. This recipe is very simple. You take the corn, cut it in half again. We went with the mini corn because we couldn't find the regular corn on the cob, so we just used the frozen ones. Sometimes you got to use what you can get. But once you get them done, we're going to glaze it. We used 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a tablespoon of our Big Salinas barbecue pork rub. Mix that together, glaze it, hit it again with some pork rub. Put them on the smoker at 225. Whole cook time took about 40 minutes. About 25 minutes in, you're going to turn them. In the last 5-10 minutes, you're going to turn them on the kernels itself just to get a nice good char on there. And then to sauce it, we use equal portions of mayo and sour cream. So about a tablespoon and a tablespoon, and 1 teaspoon of cilantro puree. Hit that with some hot pork rub. Look at those babies. Give them a try. give this recipe a
hot
try.
pork rub, and they were delicious. I loved them. I definitely give those a try. And someone did mention to try to do it some fried corn ribs, so we might have to try that in the future as well.
I agree. You basically did grilled elote is what I'm thinking of. Not to the extent you didn't have the chili powder and the stuff, but you really, that's kind of what you did there, and it looked amazing. He didn't bring any over to share. I don't think there was none for him to share personally, so I'm not too mad at him. It happens, but it looked amazing. So go check it out for sure. Like I said, he did. I was laughing there a little bit, not at what you cooked, but the fact that you said it was Dad's birthday, which I forgot. His birthday is actually tomorrow. And then we found out the
Shame
news
on you.
I know, and I've got his name. Well, apparently I don't have his name because his name is spelled wrong, which doesn't surprise me if you know anything about the Salinas. Spelling is not our forte.
Nope.
We're not going to win a spelling bee contest. We're just not.
Spelling and the English language is not our forte, as we'll dive into on our next segment with someone in there. How do you cook a pork butt?
Pork butt. Okay, I didn't put the other T in one of them. I don't know, whatever, but everybody knew what I'm talking about, whatever. We'll get into that in our next segment, Inside the Pit. But yeah, the corn looked amazing. I'm excited to try it ourselves. Like you said, the fried, stuff, anything you mentioned fried, I'm game to do. So let's do it. Maybe we'll try it this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But what else you got? You put out the question on a TikTok. Do you want to go ahead and dive into that?
Yeah, we can dive into it. So I posed the question of what is one barbecue accessory you'd recommend that we should have or we should look into getting. And some of the answers were kind of what I mainly thought they were going to be. I'll pull it up real quick so I can name those off. So most of the answers were very kind of generic. My answer was a good meat thermometer, which that was on there from several people. A good cutting board, some good sharp knives. As someone needs to buy themselves a good sharp knife.
I bought one.
And a knife sharpener. If you don't already have a good knife sharpener, buy a knife sharpener.
I bought that too.
And then, of course, you and Mags both said gloves. If you're going to get high heat resistant gloves, check out Magnus Chef gloves. I think Pit Life Barbecue has a coupon code of Royal21, I believe. So definitely check that out. Some other ones were a kettle grill, of course, not good knife, sharp knife. And then a couple of people said thumb spice grinder. That's mainly for competition cooks. If you want to use it just like a little thumb grinder. You've seen me have it in the barbecue trailer. But it's basically, it'll kind of allow you to hit the meat for more flavor. So that's mainly for competition cooks. And then, of course, someone did say a good cast iron. So many things you can do with your cast iron. Butcher paper. And, of course, he's got those Magnus Chef gloves right there.
And that's really the thing. These gloves are worth it. You said it best when it comes to these gloves is buy another pair. Because
more than one pair.
You want one for the meat, one for your coals, and especially meat. And I put it out there, and at TikTok, it was very quick and had to get to the point. With the heat resistant gloves, I added too much heat. I added too much coals, or I didn't add enough. Or if you're doing a stick burner, you need to add a log to the wood. These are going to be good because we've been at competitions. We've been in the backyard cooking for a customer, and you take it from the warmer, and then you put it in there. It's hot. I've done the test. I've held hot coals, and it's perfect. It really does do what its job is. The thermometer's great. The knives, I didn't even think about that because yeah, I had some dull knives. I got a sharpener. I got the more of your trimming knife. I think that was going to be a little bit more important for me than the long one. I could probably run to Restaurant Depot or something and grab one of those one day um, as we go do some other stuff. As brisket goes from there, but
Yeah, you
that I
definitely
like.
good sharp knife.
I definitely like that list for sure. Some good charcoal is a definitely must accessory. Depending on what you have, like I have the Weber kettle, so I use the chunks. I like the chunks instead of the chips because then I can get the pecan wood, which we love. And then I still have some chips in there. I've done the pecan cherry mix, and I did that with the steaks the other day, and it came out phenomenal. I can't think of any other accessories. A beer holder, maybe. I mean, because
Yeah, that's what someone else said was if you're doing like chicken, get you a beer can holder for the beer can chicken. If you have like a kettle, so if you have the Weber kettle grill, maybe a rib rack holder. Um, and again, a lot of it was all kind of the same stuff. Knives, cutting boards, a good smoker, a grill, butcher paper, thumb grinders, thermopins, um, and of course, some good seasonings. But the question was mainly about the accessories. When you're thinking of accessories, that's your knives, barbecue utensils, gloves, those types of stuff that's going to kind of help you with the cook. Certainly, helping you overall is definitely getting you some good charcoal. Knowing which one is better for long cooks and which ones are better for short cooks.
Absolutely, and like I said, do what's good for you. Um, a grill cleaner, a scraper. I've got the brush, and people say you got to be careful at which one you buy because the minor particles will come off. I've read some stuff. I've done a little research that is true. There's about 5 or 6 that they really recommend if you're going to go that route to get. I've got one of those, but we'll get in that different topic for a different day on how to clean it, which ones to go with from there, because you certainly want to keep your grills clean. You spend the money on it. You definitely want to keep them clean, keep them in tip top shape. But I do like the list. Like I said, you can't go wrong. A cooler of beer.
Yeah, someone said that.
Because let's be real, that's what we do, and we've thrown down some beer. We've done some brisket or some ribs, and we'll just sit there and we'll drink. It is hot. We didn't do it too much this last cook. We were inside more than we were ever. When we did try the brisket on the kettle, we were outside. We were drinking all day, pretty much 110 degrees. I'm inside. I got time to stand outside. Make it quick into the thing, but I can't think of anything else that you could possibly need. Like I said, accessories. Find a charcoal. Find stuff that's right for you, because that's what this podcast and that's what we're about. Do what's best for you. There's no wrong way. Yep. There's no right way. We're not trying to tell you our way is the best way by no means. If you do it your way and your family say, hey, I do ribs this way, or I cook it this way, or I use this and it's my family loves it, then hey, I'm not going to argue with you. Yep. I'm going to support you and I'm going to help you just like we do with our small business. That we want to go to the top and we want to take everybody with us. That's our goal. And we want to inform you on the barbecue knowledge and not put you down or anything. So we'll go.
That kind of brings, to that video that I did, before that question, which was basically the biggest thing is at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you and your family, as long as you and your family enjoy it. And then, of course, the other one was the barbecue rules. There are no barbecue rules. You can do whatever you want. The sky's the limit. However you want to cook it that way. If that's how you like it and it comes out perfect for you, then keep on doing it. Don't let everybody else tell you, no, you're doing it wrong because it has to be done this way. It doesn't have to be done any certain way. Because it's like, you remember the briskets that we enjoy now, at one point in time are kind of just thrown away. They were just, uncookable, what people kind of deemed. So someone came along and said, you know what? I'm gonna cook it for a long period of time, and then lo and behold, years later, now we have the brisket that we have today. So someone tells you you got to cook it this way, you don't have to cook it that way. Like I said, there are no barbecue rules.
And that's the truth, because I remember growing up, if family members did briskets, they marinated or they put beer on it.
Yep.
And they did it their way, and that's how they were taught. And when you did yours, Dad was like, I don't know what I've done. And they're like, let's try it. And now it's like a forgotten thing of how he cooked his thing. But he cooked briskets very well. We loved it when he cooked briskets. We now see how long it takes in the process with it. But if you cook it certain way, do it. Like I've been watching some videos, you YouTube it, you're listening to podcasts of everything, or you're TikToking, whatever, and you like that method, try it. Let us know, hey, this worked for me. It did.
Right.
Some people, it goes back to the argument, Randy, where people are like spritzing or no spritzing, binder or no binder. If you've done it this way and you're like, my family eats it up, tears it up, then that's all that matters at the end of the day. You're spending your money to make it for your family. That's how it is. And even like us that cater for different people, cater for weddings and all this other stuff, if they like it, if we're cooking it this way for catering and they love it and we get more business out of it, then great. They tell us, hey, I wish I want to hire Josh Catering. They're okay, we need to figure something else out. But when it comes to us and cooking it for what we like, we're going to do it the way we want to. And that's it. So, but for sure, it's just totally different. Like I'm sure, we bring up the barbecue broker. We haven't brought him up in a while. He probably cooks his at home different than he does for the restaurant, because he's got to make that meat. You've got to make it last. It's too expensive to not expand it and make it use for everything you need. But do it your way. We will love it your way. I promise you, you're not going to hear any negative out of us. Whether you make your own ribs, your own sauces, your own meat, your own rubs, your own whatever, definitely give it a shot. And if you buy something, try it twice. Don't just, and this was nasty. Try it twice, try it a little bit different the other way, and hey, you never know. You might like it. So, but it's interesting. What else you got? That's a good question, Randy. I mean, you got to keep those TikTok ones going. I mean, that's a good, what accessories do you need to do? And I just gotta have.
I mean, there's a lot of them out there that we can't think of the top of our head. That's why I posed that question, because there's some stuff that you come across on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, and you kind of forget about it until someone brings it up later. So that may kind of help someone buy it. Me or you may need it. Competition cook may need something, and they've seen something.
They make
that's
it
basically what it's all about, is just kind of helping everyone continue to get better cooking. So definitely, we'll definitely keep doing that.
They make an accessory for the Weber kettle that I've seen, and I'm sure you can use it on whatever, and it takes up about a quarter of the side. You put your coals in that, and you can light it on one end and snake it across. Then it has a little space for water, and you can put your water stuff in there, or your moisturizer, whatever you want to call it, on there. I wouldn't use it, but that's an accessory that you see a lot. Like my Weber kettle, I'd like to have the stand that goes next to it so I can set my meat there and have a little bit more grill. I think Johnny Mags and some other people have it. I've been looking on it to try to buy maybe a used one on it or something that I can attach to it. So definitely attachments to your grill. Don't forget about those for sure as you get going. But anything else?
You got some good covers. If you don't already have like a good cover, get you a good cover for it.
That's the truth for a those backline one, or not the back. Yeah, it's the Blackstone ones. The ones kind of like you have. If you don't cover those, they rust and they rust. Yep. Bad. But we'll get into how to clean stuff like that. Like I said, different shirts. But
yeah, I mean that's all I got. Tell you what, why don't we move into inside the pit? Why don't you get that started?
All right, let's do it. So this is the Inside the Pit segment where we talk about things that are going inside the pit, whether it's meat, whether it's products or whatever. And again, this is our opinions and our opinions alone. We do ask this question to several of the groups that we're on, and whether it's the North Texas Barbecue Addicts or it's the new Texas Extreme Barbecue, we got some great feedback, or it's damn that's good with Big Salinas one, then we ask that question to, or the New England Pitmasters, like I said, any one of these groups that we're on, go hit them up, add them, tell them Junior Randy sent me to, I want to learn to be better at barbecue or at smoking. This is where to go, because they love to share your food, and they will give you positive feedback. It's never negative. If it's negative, they actually kick the people out most of the time. So I asked the question, what's your favorite ways to cook a pork? Apparently I don't know how to spell pork.
You don't know how to spell.
I told you we're not good at spelling. What's your favorite way to cook a pork butt? We teased it last week. Before we get into everybody else, Randy, take it away. What's your favorite way to cook that pork butt?
So mine is just kind of simple, just hitting it with some holy garlic and hot porker rub, putting it on the smoker just how it is, and just letting it go. Cooking it to about 170, 165, 170, I would say. You're basically cooking it to color till you get the color you want, whether it's dark mahogany red, kind of like, a little bit on the black side. Whatever color you prefer your pork butt to come out to, you're going to wrap it when you get to that color you like. It could be 150, 160, 170, maybe if you're going not wrapping at all. But it's basically put it on, season it, put it on, letting it go, spritzing. I like to spritz mine with apple juice just because I like that sweet and savory taste in a pork butt. That's how I like it. And of course, once you wrap it in some butter. You want to wrap it with your spritz, apple juice, water. You want to put brown sugar, whatever you want, barbecue sauce. You want to try that. So many different ways, different things you can do with the pork butt. But wrap it, cook it until it's tender. To when you pick it up, it kind of feels like it's going to fall apart. And you basically pull it off, let it rest, and you pull it apart and enjoy it. That's how I enjoy it. Certainly, some other ways that I've seen is scoring the fat. I don't like to score the fat just because, like I said last week, there's that little muscle in there between the fat and the meat that everyone refers to as the bacon. And that's if you cook the pork butt, correct, it comes out delicious. If you give someone the bacon or you try that bacon in there, that bacon's going to tell you how good it is. And it's just kind of like, biting something and be like, wow. I like that bacon in there, especially the money muscle. So that's why I say I don't like to score the fat because I want to protect that bacon in there. So that way when you pull that fat off, you can see that bacon kind of stick to it, pull that off and enjoy it. And it's kind of like a, pet master privilege. But that's my go-to pork butt. What's some of the answers that you got?
Like I said, I don't discriminate against any method that you use. You do what's, it goes back to our comment, and we're doing it just because we've seen some stuff on TikTok. Since, hey, you're not doing it this way, you're not doing it right. I'm breaking down.
Ain't no barbecue rules.
There's no rules in barbecue. There's no need. So to show you this, I put it out there, and this guy's a really good cook. I've seen some of his stuff. I'm just gonna say his first name. I won't say his last name. His name is John, and I'm not even gonna say what group he's on. But he said he likes to cook his in the crock pot, low and slow for 10 hours, and he makes a good pulled pork that way. And that's basically when you cook a pork butt. That's basically what you're making. Yep. Said they'll take the butt, they'll put the favorite rubs, some honey, brown sugar, place it all over the fire and let it cook low and slow for 225 till it reaches 165. Then they wrap it and then place it back on the thing till 205. I'm sure you're adding some spices in there. A lot of people said 250 till they get to 160. That's actually a video I saw today on it where he cooked it right around 250 on the Weber kettle, about 160 there. And then he says from there he'll wrap it and pour in a DP at 350 until 205. So the 350 is probably something else I'm missing on there, but a lot of people, like I said, a lot of it's rubs and stuff, but a lot of them. Here's the question that we'll ask: is we'll get back. I'll ask you now. A lot of them say when they put their seasoning, they wait 30 to 40 minutes before putting it on the grill. Do you agree? Do you like that method?
Yeah, that's what I do as well. As I season everything before I light the fire, with the exception of kind of chicken, just because you don't want the chicken to be waiting out for so long. But you do want that skin to be dry before you season it. But yeah, pork butts, briskets. I will season everything first, leave it on the counter, and then I'll go and turn on my fire and get it started that way. Certainly, um, like the restaurants, from what I've seen on YouTube, is they will season everything, put it on, then they'll light the fires. You can do it that way too. There is no wrong, right or wrong way. It's whichever way you prefer. Um, I just think I prefer to have the meat kind of sweat and draw some of that uh, rub and see all the seasoning that you put on it kind of in to kind of enhance the flavor of the meat versus just kind of throwing it on and hoping someone can taste the bark. That's just my opinion.
Agreed. And the podcast that I saw or the video I saw it on YouTube, how to barbecue right. They do great stuff all the time. Do great interviews on their podcasts and their videos. And this was just, I wanted to see how, because you look at a video and I look at it as I see somebody doing it on a drum like you have, or a stick burner or a Traeger. Well,
Yeah.
I don't have either one of those three. So I want to learn it on something I have. And that's another key thing is YouTube something, or if you're going to look at it, ask these people, hey, what are you cooking it on? So that way you can get that good recipe. Other ones have said, like they said, it pretty much is consistent, low and slow, 225 to 250. A lot of people with this one, they spritz every once at 30 to 45 minutes. I've seen about an hour, every hour to 45 minutes to an hour. You want to spritz it with whatever you want to spritz it with. Some people will use apple juice. They'll do a vinegar,
Yeah,
apple
apple
juice
cider
mix.
vinegar, water.
Yeah, whatever you want to use, apple cider vinegar and apple juice, 50-50 mix or something like that. So use it what you want. Again, the that was a lot of it here. They'll slice it. Some won't cook it as much so that they can not make pulled pork. They can do a little different. And then before they rip it all apart, they load it down with the sauce. So that way they don't, people can grab it, make their plates and move on. There was one I wanted to read here. They smoke it for anywhere between 4 to 5 hours, throw it in the pan with some red chili sauce and onions, and cook until tender. This is he makes it for shredded tacos and burritos by George Cano Jr. He's a chef, so he takes a lot of what he says and does it from there. It just depends on what you want for it. One said it's a good way to make poor man burnt ends,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where you get the scoring from on that fat, as you can pull that up and do it, and then you can do your cubes from there and make those from there. And that's actually what they showed on that podcast on how to do it right on that video, was basically the burn ends, and he even said it was like a poor
Yeah.
man's burn ends.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much things you can do with the pork butt.
I'm telling you,
But it
and
just kind of depends on whatever your flavor you're looking for. If you want to go just sweet, savory. If you want to go hot, um, there's so many different things you can do. And of course, like you don't have to spritz. Some of us will spritz just to kind of help it draw some more flavors in there. Because it is all about layers and layers of flavor. Trying to get everything to balance so that way when you bite into it, you can be, wowed. It's not like, of course, going to a competition where you're trying to get, the money muscle and all that, pork cooking, pork butt at home. season it, put it on the smoker grill, cook it till it's tender, pull it apart, put it in a sandwich, put it in tacos, burritos,
Whatever.
whatever, nachos.
There will
You
be
know,
some good nachos. That is
yep.
the fact there. And then yeah, like I said, it pretty much is the same. Even Johnny Mag sent me one that on he uses it on his kettle. Uses the same method. Then he'll wrap it at cooks it to 165. Then he wraps it at 165. Then to about 205. Then he lets it. Of course, we've talked about it. To we're blue in the face. He lets it rest for 2 hours. So definitely, and that's the key. With I think I'm learning on it is the resting process on it. And I know some of y'all. I've been asked personally, is like you don't rest. You don't know. Right when we're at the competitions, we're at the thing. Randy generally is the cook. I'm the timekeeper. Got 10 minutes of churning before and after. I need to know the rules, and I'm the one that takes it and goes.
Yep.
When it comes off the grill, that's all Randy, how it's cooked, what he turns in. Half the time, I don't even know. I find out when y'all find out when I look on Facebook. And I see the picture. Oh, or the lady looks at it. Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it does. That's my job. Make sure we're there turned in when we want to do it. Certain competitions, I'll do it different, but you know, so that's the thing. And like I said, when you're cooking your pork butt, do it again the way you want to, how you want to do it. All these different methods, all these different smoking. So here, the main consistent that I've seen is 165. People then take it and wrap it. And then put it back on there, add some wrap it up. I've seen one that will actually add his barbecue sauce and stuff then, so that it soaks in there and it's a little bit more juicy. Do you do anything like that when your pork butts? Do you add your sauce or?
Not with the pork butts. Like I said, pork butts I use if I'm cooking it for home or catering. It's usually just kind of like if it's on the smoker, I'm using this wrapping it in butcher paper. I'm putting the apple juice spritz on there. Maybe putting a little parquet butter on there. Anything like that. You know, I don't go too much into it. For catering. Back home or competition, certainly we're going to put butter, brown sugar, any kind of glaze, barbecue sauce, just to kind of help, build a bark and, make it tastier. So there's so many things you can do with the pork butt. You can't go wrong with it. The only thing you can do is undercook it. A lot of people will kind of tell you got to pull it off at 190, 195. Don't worry about the temperature. Worry about tenderness and doneness. The meat, just like a brisket, it's going to tell you when it's done. The only kind of thing you have to kind of worry about is temperature wise, like chicken and stuff like that. We can get people sick if you don't cook it to a certain temperature. Don't cook it all the way. But pork butt, like I said, you just go by feel, and when it, like I said, when you grab it. It should, make that whenever you grab it with your fingers, if you push it in, it should just kind of make an indentation in there. That kind of tells me it's ready to come off. And just like I said, I'll pull them off, let them rest, throw them in a cooler, just so that way the juices kind of soak back up a little bit. And then I'll put it in a pan, shred it, and it's ready to go. And then that's when I would add the barbecue sauces at the end. You can add some of that au jus back and then add a little bit of barbecue sauce in there. To me, that's how I prefer it. But if you want to wrap it in barbecue sauce, hey, go for it.
Do you?
We'll just know how that turns out.
You. The guy showed it best. If it has a bone, it's a pork butt that has a bone, which a lot of them do. When you know it's done, and that bone will start to leak out a little bit,
popping out. Yeah.
and you should almost be. And he grabbed it, obviously had some heat resistant stuff because it is hot. Don't just grab it with your bare hand. He pulled it and it came just right on out, and at that point it's done. There's no more cooking that it could be, and he didn't let it rest too much because he was ready to eat. He was cooking it overnight. And then he was never going to do it for lunch, and then he was ready to go. So do it for you. And like you said, if you try a method and you have this done, you say, hey, I do it this way after hearing it, let us know. Shoot it in the comments on YouTube or hit us up individually. And like I said, we'd love to share and learn because we're all looking to learn new things, new, better ways to do it. Because as we've stated, there's no rules to barbecue, and people that think there's only one way to do it, they're wrong. I will say it right there, they're wrong. There's more than one way to do it. And it's which way you, the cook, like it the best, because you, the cook, are spending the money on the meat. Period.
Yep, certainly.
Period. So, and it's not cheap. So you find those deals. If you have those deals, definitely share them out. But anything else on pork butt you would like to share?
Nothing on pork butts. I mean, you have any
Anything
other
else
question you
inside
want to
the
throw
pit?
out there?
Anything else you want to share on inside the pit? We're gonna
Well,
dive in on that. What I don't know if it's gonna be the next episode. But will be an episode. We'll dive in on actual pit maintenance, how to clean your pit on it. Just because there is that thing. I mean, we've gone to charcoal, this and that. The one thing we've never talked about, and a lot of things there, we won't even talk. So I'll ask you, which you don't. Is there a certain starter to light your wood or charcoal that you prefer?
like
I
fire starter?
I know you don't use lighter fluid. Somebody popped the door open on me. I know you don't use lighter fluid, but what do you use?
So I use some tumbleweeds, or I will use the smoking skulls. Fire starters is what I use. So I'll use one of those two. There's so many different things you can use. So my go-to would probably be the smoking skulls fire starters. You can check them out on Instagram and TikTok. Redneck Roach. He's got some amazing fire starters made here in Texas. He ships them out. Certainly, you can use some tumbleweeds. Royal Oak has a good tumbleweed. Oklahoma Joe has some good tumbleweeds. There's so many different ones you could use. But that's my preferred method. Now you can also, if you want to go, if you have leftover butcher paper from your brisket, save it and you can light a fire that way. If you got a propane torch, you can use that, but be careful with the propane. Make sure it's a little bit of ways away from the fire, and make sure you don't have a lot of propane leaking out. So definitely, if you're going to go that way, be careful with it. But yeah, I would just go with either butcher paper, or tumbleweeds, or those smoking skulls fire starters.
Sure. I know you forgot. I don't know if you said it on your first thing in your question, but what about a chimney starter as a must-have accessory? Did you say that, or did I miss that? I might have missed it.
I think we missed it.
I think we missed it, but that's another one.
Starter,
the chimney starter, because then you can set it in there. Especially if you have like a Weber kettle or you have a charcoal grill or something like that. You can set those up. You use it for your drums. You put your other ones, and then you just set them on there, and there you go. But you have for your drums basically a box that it comes with, and then you just pick the whole thing up and set it. So
drop it down.
Yeah, and drop it down in the thing. So from there, but it's interesting, Court. But I think you wanted me to ask a certain question, but I'm not remembering what question you wanted me to ask.
No, I just wanted to know if you had another question. Usually, you have questions after the fact.
I always have questions especially after the podcast. But what about this? What about this? Well, why?
Or why? What's that?
Yeah, what's that?
I mean, the other thing is this, with it being hot here in Texas, if it's 100 and something degrees, humid, just stay hydrated, especially if you're going to be around, smoker, grill. Make sure you're drinking some water, Gatorade, Powerade. If you want to drink, beer, drink beer. Just make sure you're staying hydrated but I'd recommend drinking some water every now and then so you don't get dehydrated. Um, Definitely, you don't want nobody getting sick. Um, so definitely stay hydrated, especially in this weather in Texas right now. It's like today was 107 or 100 and something like that. I know
It's
it's hot
112.
very early and very late. So definitely stay hydrated. Uh, and then, of course, public service announcement.
Oh,
Always make sure you either have a fire extinguisher or a garden hose in your backyard, just in case a small fire may break out in your backyard or your front yard. Who knows? Someone may pop some Roman candles and light your backyard on fire. Have one accessible.
You don't have. I'm not going to blame it on my nephews, but they are part to blame. I'm not going to fully blame it on them, but they almost set the whole backyard on fire.
In hot weather when there is no rain,
there's
if
no
you're gonna,
rain,
even if you're just lighting, your fire, or you're having an overnight cook, and you're certainly using a smoker, wet that area where areas where you're going to be cooking at, just in case, and have something there, just in case if you come out and coal hits the grass and it just starts your fire, have something there, just in case, so you can put it out.
Absolutely. That's a great public service announcement. To be safe, especially like here in Texas, the grass is dying. There's not enough, you can't water. We had issues with our water here, so we actually had to stop watering this week. I don't think we're allowed to water till like 9 or something tomorrow. I'm just gonna let it go, and then I'll turn the water stuff back on. Maybe over the weekend, see if we can water, but the grass is dying. I mean, it's just too hot. It's just it can't make it. So definitely be safe out there with anything like that, especially if you're using like a chimney starter. One, you set it there, and amber could go and catch it. Just takes a little bit to make that spark. So be safe. Definitely stay hydrated. But keep on grilling, because like I said, it may be hot. That is not going to stop us from wanting to grill. Because there's nothing like cooked grilled food, whether it's chicken, whether it's whatever. That may be our next thing for Inside the Pit, is how do you cook your chicken? So that's what we'll do next week, and then we'll tease in the cleaning your pit as well, potentially, but because that's not going to be a popular topic, I don't think. It's how to maintain grill maintenance. I don't see it being that popular, but we'll see. Like I said, so that'll be our tease for the next episode as well. For Inside the Pit is how do you cook your chicken? Because we cooked some wings on there, right over the coals, on using the snake method as the ribs were cooking, and they turned out phenomenal. They cooked fast. I think 20-30 minutes, if that. So but that's all I got.
On them too.
That is all I've got for Inside the Pit. You got anything else?
Nope. Yeah, that's all I got for Inside the Pit. Definitely look for next week. But we'll dive into our next one, which is Around the Pit.
Close the lid and let's talk about Around the Pit. Yep. Where we talk about everything around the pit. Generally, it's sports, it's football. Let's just be real. We don't do politics. Well, we do. I'm not going to say we don't. We do. We usually don't know what we're talking about too much, so we don't talk about it that often. But it's Around the Pit as the football season is getting closer and closer. Baseball season is continuing. They still got months to go, a couple months to go. But we really don't do baseball. That's usually what we have on this time of year is baseball. We're not talking basketball because it's summer league and but it's usually football 24/7. We're in Texas. Football is king. What do you got for us today? You had a good topic class. Have you thought about what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do got a topic for you. And you kind of asked someone, basically, we're talking about it in the truck on the way back Saturday. So it may kind of sound familiar. I'm gonna kind of go with it. If you had to think your favorite teams, so Cowboys, Rangers, Stars, whoever, out of those, out of your favorite teams, who would be that one person you personally most associate that team with that player, or that player with that team, I should say? Someone asks you, who's your favorite player of all time? Cowboy that basically, if you're seeing him on the street, that's what the Dallas Cowboy is and should be. He represents and embodies that Dallas Cowboy.
I would say it's not Dakota Prescott. No, for me, it would be the person that you were almost named after. That's Randy White. Never saw him play before that time, but if I look at him and you go, that's the Cowboy. Dallas Cowboy, that's a Cowboy. As you talk about players, favorite of all time would be a 1-1A, would be close to Emmett and Romo. For me, I think I'd probably lean a little bit towards Emmett. But if I'm talking who, if you had to give it to one thing embodies the Dallas Cowboys, it would be Randy White.
Yeah, I would say that too. Not Roger Staubach.
No. Captain America, what they call it, was good. Do not get me wrong. He was really good. He did a lot. He served his country, everything. He definitely ranks up there. You cannot take it, but he's not the greatest Cowboy ever, in my opinion. He might be for some. He's not. He's just not.
Yeah. You want to talk about greatest Cowboy ever? He's probably, for sure, he's top 5, top 10 for sure. But certainly, you'd have to probably say maybe Emmitt Smith is up there. Randy White. Maybe people will say, a lot of people probably say Jason Witten. Nowadays, so many different answers you could say. And then speaking of 22, I know you saw it on TikTok. You saw my entry on TikTok. What is your opinion to all the haters who say Emmitt Smith is not a top 5 running back or the best running back of all time because he had a great line in the Dallas Cowboys?
Okay, let me get this straight. You're talking about the one where it had it. Sweetness, Walter Payton, Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders, and
Emmitt Smith. Yep.
One had to go.
And everybody.
Yeah, those right there.
By far, because of offensive line, he had that offensive line. And Sneaky said, if we're talking about someone who did a lot with not much, then that person can stay. He kind of contradicted himself, in my opinion, which came up my answer is you look at Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys. If you watch the film, the Dallas Cowboys, after the Super Bowl, did not have great offensive line. Especially when he was with Arizona, and he almost hit 1,000 yards.
After the last Super Bowl, the offensive line went to poo-poo. And that's the thing. That's the knock. When Emmitt Smith, people say, well, he had a great offensive line. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. I really, truly can't. But I'm not opposed, if you want to talk about those 4 backs, if you want to look at the overall work of it, to me, I would not have an issue with Emmett coming off of it and say those 3 were better than Emmett. Whatever. You can make an argument one way or the other. But Emmitt Smith, my throat hurts. Ezekiel Elliott does things that Barry Sanders couldn't do. Barry Sanders was not going to block anybody. He was not going to pick up that blitz linebacker like he does, like Emmett did. The reason, and Troy says this, and Irvin says it's the reason they were that good is because there was a lot of times he picked up that blind side that got by the offensive line and gave Troy that extra second or that extra couple of seconds to look downfield or whatever. Emmett did all that. And Sneaky in his post says, I'm not going to talk about the shoulder game, and he ran all over the Giants. Well, he did a lot against your team. Your Giants defenses that time were very good. It wasn't like they were a slouch defense or anything like that. So you can't take away. I mean, Walter Payton was Walter Payton. Bo Jackson was a beast. Bo Jackson ran over Bosworth. Bosworth did steroids.
Yeah. That list basically became who you taking off between Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Who did you like more?
Barry Sanders was phenomenal. He'll run 10 yards this way, 20 yards the other way, then go back 30 yards, and he's gone. But Emmett, throughout his career, never once had a game where he finished below negative yards total. Barry Sanders had several of those games where at the end of the day, he ran for negative yards. And people want to say, well, this offensive line, they blitz. He didn't have anything else either. What helped Emmett out was Troy. What helped Emmett out was Novacek. What helped Emmett out was Irving, Harper. Everybody, like you said, it takes a team effort. They all were good to do it. And it's not like they went undefeated and dominated every game on it. So I didn't agree. Like I said, he's just a Cowboy hater. And they're going to say it. But like I said, I don't have a problem if you're going to go overall backs and you put Emmett at 4. Okay, cool. If you want to put him behind Marcus Allen, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But that's where he stops is at 5, no matter what.
Yeah, if you talk about most complete back, for sure you have to leave him in the play. Most complete back would probably he's up there because of what he did in the passing game, the run game, pass blocking, all that. And that's the reason why, I keep telling you, why should the Cowboys get rid of Zeke when Dak needs Zeke to be blocking? Zeke does a lot in the passing game that people don't like because they want Pollard to be that back. Well, Pollard's that guy. Who's going to pick up those blocks? Is it going to be Pollard? Is it going to be tight end? Someone has to do it to pick up that blindside block that Emmett used to do to keep Dak from getting hurt.
Correct.
Because if you go through another quarterback of having concussion issues, let's say, with Dak, if he breaks his ankle again, will he come back from it? Hopefully you don't, but we're just speaking hypothetically. You don't want that to happen, so you have to make sure you protect them. Which is why, that was my opinion on it. As you can say, you had a great offensive line because Cowboy fans know we didn't have a great offensive line all the time.
And he came into the league, 91, 90, 91, I think it was 91. And it wasn't like he just 2,000 yards every season, and then once the Super Bowls ended, it just stopped, and he was there. No, he never hit 2,000 yards in his career. He was very consistent and very durable and very healthy and did things the right way that he can. And he did miss games, concussions, and when he hurt his shoulders and this and that, but he still hit over his yardage. And I don't care. It's to me, when you look at, okay, well, he had an offensive line, he had this. To me, it's the same thing as, okay, well, this person writes their songs, this person doesn't. This person has somebody writing their songs. Well, this person still has to execute that song and make it their own so that you, the listener, love it. So there's still, you give a little edge to this person that took the time to write it, that has that creative ability, as opposed to the ones that don't. But you still have to own it, so you don't take any credit away from them at all. That's what it is.
And then the other question I have is, a lot of, training camps coming up. The fans kind of proposing the question of what position group are you more excited this offseason to see how they do? Is it, defensive back, receivers, quarterbacks, line, running back? What's that one position group that when it comes to watching preseason, when and if we watch it, what's that one position group you're kind of looking at and seeing, okay, who's going to step up?
Really? You know I don't watch preseason games.
You want to watch preseason?
Then the starters don't play. I'm gonna turn it on and go. None of the starters are expected to play. I'm gonna hear Babe Lofferberg talk. I'm gonna be like, let's go there.
Yeah.
Food Network, here it comes. If I ones that I keep. But here's the thing: I don't like to watch preseason games, but I do keep an eye on them based on what they're doing in camp, watching, getting my stuff here and there. So the one area I would like to know what's going to be great is going to be the offensive line. Are we going to be back? How are we going to do it? Because they've gotten these people. Chris is all excited. They drafted this one dude. The next Tyron Smith. Let's calm all that down. Let's see how they're going to perform coming out. From there, and let's see. Do we have a kicker? That's another thing. Do we have a kicker? We don't. We have the one that we had that one game. We brought the one dude from Texas Tech. And now, do we have somebody that's going to prepare and be a kicker for us? There, defensive line, can we get to the ball? How are we going to act there? So those are my areas I think that I'm most interested in watching, most interested in seeing how they do from my point of view. What about you?
I would probably say the DBs. I'm more interested in seeing how those guys progress. Especially the ball hawks corner that we have that everyone kind of loves. Think he's the best cornerback in the league. I'm interested in seeing how he progresses. That's going to be kind of interesting to see this off season to see how they continue to get better.
Here's my thing, and you brought it up. And I've seen TikToks on it, and a lot of the TikToks that are out there about talking bad about Cowboys are from Eagles fans and Giants fans. You're already, against us. So, whoever said last year that Diggs was the GOAT of cornerbacks?
I don't know who said that. I've never
heard that. And then they want to say, well, this and that. And I heard a comparison. Well, Ramsey this and Ramsey better. Ramsey gave up yards too. Yep. Ramsey was getting torched, and if it not have been for an offsides call that should have been called in the last play, Donald was offsides, clear as day. There should have been a flag. If he doesn't get through that line, Jamar Chase is free again, running right by it.
Oh, he was open that last play.
He got away with the call. So it is, like I said, it is what it is. But the cornerbacks is a good spot. Is a good thing. Can we continue to build on it safety wise? Can we get better? Because I don't think, I look at the roster, I don't see it as good as it was last year, but we'll see from there. Any other teams, any other players you're interested to see what happens?
Certainly, the offensive line, I think, needs to progress. Certainly, the draft pick that they got is kind of putting in work this offseason. It's kind of funny how a lot of people hate certain draft picks the Cowboys get lately, but they somehow managed to prove everyone wrong that year. You're looking like that. You and Chris didn't like Michael Parsons. Y'all didn't like that.
They don't like Michael Parsons.
Y'all didn't like that pickup linebacker, but look what he did. Besides, people didn't like Van Der Esch, but look what he did year one. Then he got hurt year two. But he's still a good linebacker. So definitely, give props to the draft. But yeah, we'll see what they can do this year.
Look at it. Michael Parsons, okay, he proved me wrong. I'll give him credit. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. He proved me wrong. But he can build on it. I think they should have used him in more of a blitzing as well, because when they blitzed him, he generally got pressure on the quarterback. When they decided, no, let's back off for whatever reason, then I think another year under Dan Quinn, He's going to be better. They're going to figure out how to use him a little bit better. Uh, I'm not opposed to them this offseason. I wanted them to make a big splash name wise. They didn't, but that's okay. I'm not 100% against it or anything like that. So, but we'll see. Any other players outside of the Cowboys that you're keeping a close eye on? I mean,
Outside the
Watson
Cowboys,
still hasn't been suspended.
uh,
Beginning to think maybe he's not at this point.
you have
Outside of the Cowboys, any team or players that you're just like, I'm gonna keep an eye on him because he may do good things.
none that I can think of off the top of my head. And Carlton's Cook, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Outside, I mean, of course, I think Watson is fine. I think now there's reports coming out saying maybe 2 to 8 games. I think the NFL has to suspend them just because they cannot not suspend them because it makes Goodell and the league look bad if they don't. And they're more now about making themselves look good in the eyes of the fans. But if it had been like I told Dad, if it had been Dak or anyone on the Dallas Cowboys, he would have already been suspended. You take a look at Zeke, who didn't do anything. All the evidence pointed that he had nothing to do, didn't hit the ex-girlfriend, nothing. He got suspended for 8 games just because he's a Dallas Cowboy. Even the investigator said no, he didn't do anything wrong. Don't suspend him, but he still got suspended. Which is, in my opinion, if it had been a Dallas Cowboy, he had already been suspended. But it's not. We'll see what happens.
I want to look something up. Go ahead.
Certainly, the other players I'm kind of looking at. It's kind of interesting to see are the receivers that got traded. Brown. Who's the Adams that got traded? Tyreek Hill. It's going to be interesting to see if they have down year with the new quarterback. Those are the ones I'm interested in seeing is how those new connections come up.
Okay. So I was interested in, we did a mock draft the other day for a fantasy. I don't think this person got picked up. But they suspended for 1 year Calvin Ridley for betting $1,500 on a game. But yet, Deshaun Watson, who makes women uncomfortable, wanted a woman to stick his finger in his booty hole, jack him off, whatever, and they're dragging their feet about it. And then Zeke, who was proven did nothing wrong, the girl tried to set him up. Oh, he gets 6 games.
Yep.
And now, if they give him less than 6, it's ridiculous. He needs to be. You set a bad example for the NFL. It should be, I would be cool with 8. I think I could settle with 8 in my mind, but a year makes more sense to me. Just like, hey, look. And then people are like, well, he didn't play last year. That should have counted. No, he chose really not to play.
Yeah, he sat out because he wanted to be traded.
He wanted to be traded.
He wanted out of Houston. And certainly nobody blames him for wanting out of Houston because it is one of those, dumpster fires. But at the same time, looking back now, Houston did help him a lot. They're the ones that kind of helped instigate a lot of it by paying for the hotel rooms. But like I said, that's one of those things we have to kind of just wait and see. They may kind of drag their feet until week 1 and then say, you're suspended for 4 games. If you even get suspended, we don't know. The longer it goes, it could be no suspension. But certainly, if he gets suspended for any amount of games, Cleveland is going to be hurting. If he gets suspended for the whole year, Amari Cooper, you just fell from being top 10, top 15 receiver to I hope you're able to get some passes.
My heart goes out to him. It really truly does.
You went from a
Because
good situation to a bad situation.
it wasn't his deal. I didn't want him to trade. If they want, I didn't. I'd rather them keep. I understand they got rid of him because he's going to require money, and Gallup is a cheaper option. But I just feel bad for him.
But it's one of those things. If you were going to pay him $100 million, then why did you pay him? If you're going to trade him later, why? It's kind of one of those things, with Zeke and Pollard, because they're both free agents this year. If they're going to keep both, they're not going to keep both. It's going to be interesting to see, because if Pollard has a great year, someone may come and say, you know what, we're going to offer you, $15, $20 million a year. And you may see him on a different team. I would have been okay with the trade if they would have went ahead and locked them up for more years, in my opinion. But is there anything else you want to talk about around the pit?
Around the pit. That's all I got for right now. I'm interested to see when it's going. Their football season nears sooner and sooner. So I was looking up some stuff. I wanted to see if certain people got drafted in that draft. So I was doing some things, because I don't really do that much research when it comes to fantasy football as I used to. It is what it is. Kind of wing it from there. So, but that's all I've got for today. I don't have anything else for Inside the Pit. No other questions for me. Anything from you?
No, I mean, that's all I got. We talked about it all. We gave the questions that we proposed on TikTok, talked about pork butt. Certainly, if you have your personal favorite way to cook a pork butt, let us know. If you have your favorite seasonings that you like to use on pork butt, let us know that below. Check us out on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to us on Twitter, all those social media sites. You can stay up to date on what we got coming on our podcast, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be doing more lives. We're just kind of testing this out right now on YouTube. And then, of course, we'll go live on Facebook and all that. We'll have some guests coming up. I know you have one in mind one or two that you in mind.
I'm working on
you want to do. I'm still working on one. I don't think we're ever going to get that one, but we'll see.
Nah, I'm giving up on one.
We got one guest that's probably going to come up maybe next week. So stay
one that I've asked to try to get back on the show. Like I said, I'm not going to tease who it is or anything like that, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot. But then I said, hey, let's get you back on the show. For sure. Then you never know. We might just have a local backyard cook come out on there for sure, because those are cool too. See people that cook differently as well.
Yeah, I think next episode what we'll do is we'll talk about the chicken and pet maintenance and all that. But we're gonna bring back some people. We'll bring in some guests, and we'll talk about how to help backyard cooks get better. So we'll have our backyard panel next episode.
Did we reach out to TikTok dude, see if he wants to join this show?
Whatever.
I'm playing.
We'll have people on here, some people that people in those groups. We'll ask them. We can get them on. Great. We want to have people, cooking on Weber kettles, pellet smokers, offsets, variety of different things. So that way, if you have a certain question, you cook on a certain type of grill or smoker, we can help you get better, and especially just getting into it. That's what we're about, is helping make sure you are able to be king in your backyard and build that confidence level up and all that kind of stuff. If you want to get into competitions and all that kind of stuff, let us know. We'll definitely help you along the way if we need to. If we go to cook one and you want to cook with us, you can cook side by side, and we'll kind of help each other out. I got my own things that I do, so I mean, we'll kind of help as much as we can.
We do need to do a competition again. We're just gonna have to suck it up and do it.
He's gonna fork over all the money and buy all the meat. You heard it here first. He's buying everything, and I'm keeping all the money.
Boom!
First.
I might help with some of it, but I ain't gonna help with all of it. No,
we'll see some things I get worked out from me first, and then we'll definitely see.
Correct. And we have some people that come out as well that just come out, hang out, drink some beer with us, ask some questions. They just want to see what the barbecue thing is all about. Hey, we've had it where people are like, "Hey, I have a trigger. We're thinking of doing one." Okay, cool. Let us know. We have generators you can borrow to plug it up if there's not power out there. Because sometimes there's not. So definitely, by all means, hit us up. We will help. And generally, when you're out there at a competition, everybody helps you out because they want to beat you at your very best. They don't want to sneak a win and win by forfeit. They want to beat you at your very, very best. So that's what we'll do. Again, let's hit it here. We'll wrap it up here. My small business shout out was Big Kano's all-purpose rub. Definitely go try it. He's got some good stuff. That rub is really fantastic. Joe's Meat Market, Prolific Butcher Shop, or Papa Joe's in Fort Worth, or you can hit him up at Chris Kano on Facebook or Big Kano Barbecue on Facebook, Big Kano All-Purpose Rub, Big Kano Barbecue on any other social media site from there. And again, it's hot out here. It's hot wherever you're at probably. Stay hydrated, stay safe, so we can see you down the road.
Definitely, like I said before, check us out on all the social media sites. Follow us here on YouTube, so hit that like button. Let us know if there's certain content you want us to put out. Maybe there's a how-to video that you're kind of interested in seeing. Let us know that so we can definitely get with Chris and try to put out that amazing killer video for you. I know he's got some ideas that he wants to kind of do. We just kind of got to plan it out once it gets a little bit cooler to be outside and filming everything like that. But like I said, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, because we'll be asking some barbecue questions every now and then to kind of keep that engagement, especially if we're going to be coming here on the podcast. So check us out on all those. And you're going to stay up to date on what we got going. If you hadn't already tried our stuff, give it a try. BigSalinsBarbecue.com. My small business shout out was Texas Brisket Biscuit. That's TX Brisket Biscuit. You can check them out at 2390 Fuller Wise Road in Euless, Texas. There's 18 different varieties for you to pick from. If you don't want to drive out that far, that's certainly fine. I know for me it's like an hour, but it is worth the drive if you want to make it out there. If you're going to see someone in Fort Worth one day, take that detour, pick you up some biscuits, take it to their house, eat them up. Or stop at any Central Market store and pick you up some brisket biscuits. Those are my favorite, hands down. But that's my small business shout out. And of course, like we always say, give our stuff a try. You never know, you just may get hooked. Big taste, big flavor, big Salinas. And of course, cook with passion and cook with love. And we'll see you down the road.
Keep smoke rolling.
The original 5 levels are big, healthy, husky, fluffy, and damn. People ask, what could be bigger than damn?